Very good afternoon and welcome to ThePapare.com as we have schools rugby knockout action for you live from Havelock Park. St. Thomas's College taking on the Kandy and Shri Sumangala College, who impressed last year and will be looking to go a little bit better than they did in last year's edition of the Schools Rugby League and the knockout, of course. St. Thomas's flattered to deceive towards the end of the season last year, and they will be looking to capitalize on what was a season that they will want to forget. Last year it was an improvement on the previous seasons, but some results really not going their way towards the end of the season, and they will want to put that behind them and hope that this young team that they fielded last year has matured and gained the experience that they did.
Good evening, Shanak, and good evening to all our viewers. 32 degrees Celsius is what these boys will have to work with today here at Havelock Park. A wind speed of 13 kilometers per hour. That's not going to matter too much, but that heat here in Colombo is really pelting down, and how the boys from Kandy adapt to it will really show, or will really see how this game is going to go about, not just for them, but for the team on the other side as well.
And in terms of entertainment as well, whether we'll see some running rugby, what that 32 degrees Celsius is not showing you is really how humid it is, isn't it, Abid? And that's something that doesn't get accounted for in a lot of our weather updates, and it feels like it's about 95 to 100% humidity here. And we've just seen a match conclude a little while earlier in the Premier Trophy, and I don't know how those boys were playing at that time in the afternoon. We have a look at today's fixtures. One just concluded. St. Thomas's College will take on Shri Sumangala in just a few moments, and Royal College will be playing St. Anthony's. That's live from 6:45. That kickoff will be just around 7 or 7:15. But today's game going to be a really important one for both these teams, St. Thomas's and Royal, because if they win this, they will win an opportunity to face each other.
The teams faced each other 3 days on the trot for what was quite the interesting big match. Shanaka Singh, these are the pre-quarter-final results coming your way. Trinity College took on Thurston College and St. Peter's took on Ananda College. That was on Wednesday. A win for Trinity and St. Peter's to kick their season off. Wesley College with a mammoth win against Mahanama College, 77 points to 3. And then that close game that went into sudden death, St. Joseph's College clinching it at the end with the 3-pointer, 20 points to 17 against a much improved Kingswood College outfit. Isipatana College beat Science College 41 points to 8, and DS Serenayaka College won't be too happy with that result against Zahira College.
No, they certainly won't, but it was a good performance from Zahira as well. Isipatana throwing down the early gauntlet to the rest of the teams, as well as St. Peter did. And we have the road to the final. We've got the pre-quarters, or at least half of the pre-quarters done, and we will be looking at the last remaining matches, the last two remaining matches of the pre-quarter final stage. So St. Peter's have advanced on one side of the draw to play a very impressive Wesley side, who scored 77 points in the on Friday, and Zahira taking on Trinity College. That's going to be an interesting matchup as well, because this Zahira team has showed a lot of promise early doors. And then we have Isipatana, who trounced Science College, and St. Joseph's, who came back from the brink to beat this Kingswood side 20 points to 17, showing a lot of mettle to come back into that game. So that's going to be a tough matchup as well for Isipatana. And then, of course, there's going to be probably a Royal Tomian matchup if we go according to form. But, of course, St. Anthony's and Shri Sumangala will certainly have their say and try to upset that form prediction in this round of pre-quarterfinals. So as it goes, the big names have gone through. DS Serenayaka, the first casualty of the season so far, a bit.
Well, Shanak, and also when it comes to a new season, it's always new faces that come about, boys that have come up from the under-16s, wearing the first 15 jersey for the first time, something that they've been dreaming of for quite some time, watching their seniors play. So it's always an interesting thing to watch a new season of schools rugby. It's not like club rugby where you have the same players maybe switching from club to club, but in schools rugby you've got these new faces that come about, and this really spark an interest. And we're talking about how important it is to warm up in these conditions. I hope the Shri Sumangala boys don't do too much of that because they're probably already warmed up. And on the other end, as the metaphor goes, there's not a cat on the other side. It's absolutely humid here at Havelock Park.
I've never understood this, Abid. I've really never understood the length of the warm-ups that Sri Lankan school coaches engage in, or even club coaches. It's about, well, today it's probably going to be about half an hour warm-up, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But we've seen warm-ups that go maybe 45 minutes or something like that, which is an extra half of rugby, or more than an extra half of rugby if you're playing 35 minutes. So I just don't understand keeping these players in these hot conditions on the field for as long as they do. It really is, and it's not, that's something that I really don't understand. And I think in these conditions, players need to do a lot less to get their bodies limber. Let's not forget it's a winter sport in most other parts of the world, which is why they spend so much time on the field before they actually kick off the game. But it's certainly not the case here.
Well, definitely, and I also think warm-ups is something that is very personal, where each player will have to warm up differently. And yes, you do have to warm up as a team, get that cohesion going. But something that I also have experienced is players tend to slack out on the warm-up, where they would, fake an injury or something and just get down on the floor and just start warming up because they know it's a bit too much for their body. So the boys are sound. They've got their minds clear that yes, the warm-up might be a bit too much. Now, St. Thomas's College is actually benefiting off this. They're on the side that has a bit of shade. For Shri Sumangala College, unfortunately, they're on a side that the heat is really hitting them hard.
We'll be back with live action after the commercial break.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
ගෙවන් යන්න ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න. ලොකු පොඩි හැම ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න. හොඳම ෆෝන් එකක් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න.
Introducing the 2025 TVS Apache RTR 204V.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Kitchen එක අබාන්ස් කරන්නේ දැන් wife happy එකේ ඉන්නේ wife happy කරන්න kitchen එක අබාන්ස් කරන්න
එතකොට මහත්තයාට උනේ tile adhesive grout waterproofing skim coat නේ
ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එකක් නැද්ද මුදලාලි අතන කඩේ 140ක් දෙන්නම් කිව්වා
බෑග් වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා
ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් Swiss Tech නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. Swiss Tech ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
දවසම fresh වෙන්න. O3 Spirit and Freedom perfumed body spray.
for passion a competitive spirit is for the night owls the hard workers it's for those who do and want to keep doing Ride. Real energy.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
බෑග්වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා.
ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් ස්විස් ටෙක් නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. ස්විස් ටෙක් ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය. Perfectly. Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
ගෙවන් යන්න ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න. ලොකු පොඩි හැම ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න. හොඳම ෆෝන් එකක් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
සරටම එන්ජොයි කරන්න පාටි එකට ගෝ.
Night Go Pocket Perfume. Youth එකට go එකක්.
Let's KFC.
Making moments special. Most value for money from KFC.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Kitchen එක අබාන්ස් කරන්නේ දැන් wife උත් happy එකේ ඉන්නේ.
Wife happy කරන්න. Kitchen එක අබාන්ස් කරන්න.
Welcome back to live pictures from Havelock Park as we prepare for this pre-quarterfinal round match between Shri Sumangala and St. Thomas's College. Another match scheduled for later on in the day, St. Anthony's College, after some controversy in their big match against Trinity, coming down to Colombo to confront the mountain that faces them, which is Royal College. Here's Shri Sumangala warming up in their tank tops. Look like they're in good shape, these lads. By contrast, St. Thomas's looking the much heavier side. Of course, what you advance in weight, you lack in mobility sometimes. And here's the road to last year's final. In 2025, we had Zahira taking on Trinity. Trinity winning that one quite comfortably. And Royal taking on Isipatana in the semi-final. And then it was that all-important final between Trinity and Isipatana. Trinity going in as favourites probably, Abid, but a heartbreaking try by Korituako in the final moments of that game, taking the match away from Trinity. It could have been a double winning season, but wasn't to be.
It was a very good Isipatana side on the day, Shanaka, that won that game, and Zahira took on Trinity in the semi-final. They'll take each other on next weekend in a quarter-final fixture. So that's going to be interesting. These are the key stats of that final that we were talking about. 9 points to 12. Isipatana College winning the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025 with 2 tries and just the kicks from Trinity College. 2 penalties and that 1 drop goal from Shan Altaf. That was not enough to hold the green machine at bay. 12 points to 9. That really set the tone for a very good school season, which also trickled down into a very good club season. So spectators in Sri Lanka who love rugby, who adore rugby, have really been treated to some amazing sporting action.
And you've got it all year round as well, don't you? I mean, it seems just like last week we finished the club rugby season. The club players, of course, will be preparing for the club sevens coming up in a few days' time. And of course, many of the cream of those players will go on to prepare for the Asia Cup. Which will be the Asian Games rather, which will be something that will be on the minds of Sri Lanka rugby for sure, hoping to try and secure a medal for the first time in Sri Lanka's rugby history. And the club players will be rubbing their hands, waiting for that opportunity. This is the Tomian team warming up. Plenty of sponsor labels on the backs of their t-shirts. But let's see with all that support translates into performance on the fields as well. We have the past winners of this prestigious trophy. It used to be called the President's Trophy. It's a knockout tournament. Isipatana winning last year, of course. St. Peter's College winning in 2023. St. Thomas's last one in 2009. They've won it 6 times, but Isipatana right on top with 15 wins, and what a performance that is. And we've had teams that have won it just once. We have St. Joseph's College with Chatra Seniviratna in that team. Thurston College winning once in 98. Wesley College, a wonderful side in 2013. And then Science College, led by this year's CRNFC double winning skipper, Lasindu Karunatilaka, who won in 2015. But Royal and Trinity have won it 3 times each. Royal and Trinity generally don't participate in this tournament, and that's why this tournament has been shifted to the beginning of the year to ensure that all the teams will take part. Kingswood in the mid-noughties, meaning that winning 4 championships with that brilliant side, of which Fazil Marija was a big part of. St. Thomas's last winning in 09, but of course they won most of their trophies in the early 90s when they had a pretty unbeatable side. And St. Peter's under coach Sanath Martis was a force to be reckoned with in the 2000s and the tweens as well. And Isipatana all through the decades, I don't think you've ever been able to have a decade which Isipatana rugby was not dominant in, as clearly shown by almost double the number of trophies that they've won for that to the next team.
Isipatana College and St. Peter's College closely followed by St. Thomas's College in that list. For second place, will the Tomians be able to get another knockout championship after 2009? That will be the big question, but they have a mountain to go past, and that mountain will start with the game against Shri Sumangala College. Shri Sumangala College, Shanak, have had a pretty good season last year. It was a rebuilding season for them where they were getting a few youngsters going through, and that boy on your screen there, Shashika Bandara, who plays at scrum half, is a scrum half that has a lot of vision. He knows where the gaps are. He plays really quick off the base, and he's someone who this Tomian team that you see on your screen will have to take account of when it comes to open field play.
Certainly, and the difficult thing for St. Thomas's is they probably haven't seen a lot of Shri Sumangala in order to do their video preparation and things like that. So they will probably be playing percentage rugby to start off with before they get an understanding of what the Shri Sumangala team has to offer. But as you said, Sumangala rebuilding, they lost quite a few players to maybe other teams, but they've managed to hold them together and prepare for this season, and they're very proud rugby community there at Shri Sumangala, and they'll be wanting to give a great start to their season by taking on the Tomians. We'll be back after a few commercials. Welcome back to Havelock Park as on the Papare.com we are bringing you live action of this pre-quarterfinal of the schools knockout tournament. We've had all but 2 of the games decided now and the quarterfinalists have been scheduled. The last 2 quarterfinalists trying to come out of the woodwork between Shri Sumangala, St. Thomas's, St. Anthony's and Royal. 2 of those 4 teams will go through after the last 2 matches today. Tomian contingent has flown into Havelock Park, not as much away support for Shri Sumangala, but they won't mind that because they will have only one thing on their minds to start the season off with a big upset, Abid. Let's look at the Shri Sumangala team card. We have Resandu Sahas, Mudita Piris and Obasha Indivara who will be in the front row. Achila Gamage and Lakvidu Denuwan in the second. Pabasara Nilma, Tarusha Dilshan and Shivanta Madhusha will be in the third row. And look for Sashika Bandara, Abid's pick for a man to watch in this game. Abiru Induvara will pair off with him. Akila Sirivardhana will be on the left wing, and in the midfield Ashen Karunatilaka alongside Pasindu Bandara. And we have Malisha Karunatilaka passing to Samarakun at fullback, and in the replacements Bandara, Debahapua, Jayapala, Muhajirin, Dhananjaya, Bandara, Kumarasinghe and Koditawakku. Some familiar names from last year in this Tomian lineup. Vishwa Aryavansa alongside Ayan Pereira and Aman Imran in the front row. Jehan Wanigasuri and T.S. Aluvihara moving from the third row to the second. Internet Bandara, Mikhail Karnaratha the captain, Romet Vijay Singh coming in at flanker. Archer Mendis is a new name in the team sheet. He partners Udan Bulat Singhalage. Mohammad Zabri is on one wing. Zaidan Akbar and Tehan Dammage will be in the centres. Mayanka Dias at fullback and Rehan Bandasuri will be on the right wing. Jayasena Megama, Nawaz, Akash, Fernando, Pieratna, Albert and Karavita will be on the replacements bench for the Tomians.
You look teams for St. Thomas's and for Shri Sumangala. Look out for Udan Bulat Singhalage in the number 10 jumper for St. Thomas's College alongside the captain Mikhail Karunaratne will no doubt look to try and make an impact. Here's the coach for the Tomians, Tristan Healy, will be at the helm for the boys from Mount Lavinia. For Shri Sumangala College, they'll be looking out to players like Shashika Bandar and Pasnu Samarakon, who are youngsters who have come up the ranks and have been around for Shri Sumangala College for quite some time. This Tomian outfield will be looking to go, isn't it?
Certainly will be. They had a season that would have disappointed a lot of these players. Came so close on a number of occasions to taking a giant scalp, but just were not close enough, and that experience would have held them in good stead in the close season. That little disappointment will do a lot to fuel them in this upcoming season. Abid, I'm sure you've seen that as well. When you've had a season that just didn't go according to plan, it really makes your next off season much more focused.
Most definitely, and that goes to say for both teams, isn't it? Both these teams wouldn't have had the seasons that they would have been wishing for last year. These boys in a huddle for one last time before they go on for the first time in this season. Tomians, of course, would have played their practice games there, running onto the pitch. Would have played their practice game, Shanaka. They would have known what their structure is like, but this is the first time that they're really testing it out in an all-pressure situation.
Well, certainly his practice games are practice games, but now is where the season really starts, and this is where the Tomians will do well to make sure that they don't let any of last year's demons haunt them. Looks like they've found themselves a new pre-match ritual, or an enhancement to the previous pre-match ritual, the traditional one. And the man in charge of today's game, of course, on screen here, Nalin Lasantha, one of the referees who impressed in the club season last year, and he will be alongside the experienced Surang Arunashanta, who is assistant referee 1, and Tarindu Pereira, AR2 today. Nalin Lasantha lets the game flow, Abid, and that's something that both these teams, I'm sure, will appreciate.
Do they appreciate it is going to be the question. That will depend on the styles of play that they have. St. Thomas's, to the naked eye, look like they have the bigger side. They might go for strategies that are forward-centric. For the boys from Kandy, of course, it might just be a plan that centers around their playmakers and the back line.
Ready, Captain. Good. Stay back.
So we're all ready for kickoff here in this pre-quarterfinal match. Shri Sumangala to kick off from right to left on your screen. No wind to speak about, but the sun is beating down here at Havelock Park. And despite taking a few practice kicks early on in the warm-up, passing to Samarakun unfortunately puts that just beyond the touchline. And it will be the first scrum of the game for St. Thomas's College right from centre field. The dream scrum for skipper Karunaratna, of course.
First set piece for the Tomians, and it is in probably the best place on the pitch to attack in terms of options. They've got options on either side. This is where the back line will try to use the moves that they've been practicing.
I can almost see the eyes on Makal Karunaratna light up here. And he leaves it to Archamendis. Udan Bulat Singalage, Mayanka Dias with a nice flat ball out to Rehan Varnasurya, Tehan Dammage rather, in the number 14 jersey. St. Thomas has driven back. Good defense by Shri Sumangala that time. Good 5 meet again. Play on is the call, and Bulat Singalage has to go blindside. Puts a little grubber through, but nicely rescued by the number 6 for Shri Sumangala. Tarusha Dilshan, good bit of play by him and winning a penalty for his team as well.
Scrappy play from St. Thomas's to start off the game. Pabasara Nirmal there went over the ball there. And Shri Sumangala College have put the ball out into touch. And now they have their first set piece of the game. What do they cook from this?
A dominant defense getting them that attacking option here. So St. Thomas has driven back. Weren't able to really take advantage of that gift of a centre field scrum that they got. Waniga Surya in the front of the line out. Will try to contest, but it's nice and neatly done by Sumangala at the number 2 position in the line out. Carried forward, but this time it's the Tomians' turn to make a dominant tackle. Chip kick put in and turns Mayanka Dias around. Opts to come in. That was Pabasara Nirmal with the chip kick and a loose pass that time, thrown over the shoulder. Not the kind of early exchanges that Coach Tristan Healy would like. And Archer Mendes is completely swarmed by the Sumangala defense. Here's Makal Karunaratna with his first carry of the season. Want to settle things down and get out of the wrong half of the pitch as far as they're concerned. Udan Bulat Singalage. In fact, that time it was Zaidan Akbar.
Behind ball. Blue.
Archer Mendes with the box kick. Nobody seemed to want to come and collect it, but now they do. Here's Pasudu Samarakun with acres of space on his right. Gets the ball away and a beautiful handoff. And the first score of the game coming for Shri Sumangala by Pasindu Bandara. A wonderful run, a combination of both Pasindus and a superb counter-attacking try from Shri Sumangala to set the boards alight.
What a start to the game for the boys from Kandy. They were really good in defense there, Shanaga. Defense is what won them that try or got them this try through Pasindu Bandara. And they really pressured Archamendis into making that kick, a real nothing kick from Archamendis. Yes, it bounced into grass, but he didn't have his, here's the kick once again, he didn't have the players around. And as soon as Pasindu Samarakon ran onto that ball with pace, the defense from St. Thomas's was just not there to stop Pasindus. Both Pasindus there. Pasindu Samarakon just showing the hand, to Mayank Dias on the way to the try line to score the first Amana Bank try of this game.
Well, an open palm that Mayank Dias will remember for a while. He shifted to the fullback position and will be in a few of those one-on-one positions as this season comes through. And Pasindu Samarakon unable to add the extras there. But a lovely run from Pasindu Bandara as well, wasn't it? Just inside out, that little swerve of the hip and the fend. Nice classical finisher's try. Kind that Rory Underwood used to score. You won't remember Rory Underwood, Abid, probably before you were born. But that's the kind of try that used to be scored by the wingers of old.
Okay, good play.
And St. Thomas's will need to recover from that, of course. Udan Bulatsingalage now with the opportunity to put his team in the correct half of the pitch. Sasika Bandara
Move it.
offloads it to Samarakon, who keeps the ball in the field of play. Akbar to Bulatsingalage, to Dias. Dias with a little fend of his own this time, but dragged down in a good tackle. Shivanta Madusha making a telling hit, and they've got Mikael Karnaratna covered. They don't want him to get up any speed or any space. Again, a loose pass, but well picked up in the end by Tehan Dammage. In fact, Rehan Varnasuriya in the number 13 jersey. Vishwa Aryavansa. And here's a little bit of space opening up, but a lovely jersey tackle in the end. Mayank Dias storming onto that short pass. Bulatsingalage did really well to get it away.
Yes, advantage.
And there's offside play there, and St. Thomas's will have the penalty if they can't make more of this.
Number 19 offside.
Well, a very eager Shri Sumangala College defense, isn't it? They're really shooting up on the Tomians. They're shooting up at a big risk as well, isn't it, Shanaka? Just there you saw Udan Bulatsingalage cracking open the defense. It's high risk, high reward stuff from Shri Sumangala College. This time the risk is greater than the reward, as St. Thomas's knock it out with just 5 meters to go from a 5 meter line out.
Well, it's a knockout game, Abid. I would have thought 3 points was clearly on offer with
Mark, center mark. Thank you.
that ball right in front of the posts.
Please come. You mark. You move.
Here's an important line out coming up for St. Thomas's. They've not opted for the 3 and gone for the line out. Ayan Pereira with an important one.
I just don't understand that call. It's important to get points on the board.
Yes, good. Yes, good.
Set taken by St. Thomas's in the middle, and they've set their driving maul up. Sumangala do well to drive them back, but it's still enough forward momentum for the Tomians, and they get the try. Ayan Pereira is the man who comes up with the ball. And the Tomians have given away the 3-point opportunity, but that doesn't matter because they've got the 5.
The Tomians had to hit back quickly at this Shri Sumangala College team, and they did so. Backs giving away the try, forwards getting the try. Ayan Pereira gets the first Amana Bank try for the Tomians of this season. Here's a look at that once again. It was a good line out. They put the man up. Shri Sumangala College may have done better maybe not to contest that and go right into the maul there, because the maul was coming for sure from the Tomians. A bit too upright in their body position there. The boys from Shri Sumangala College, and Ayan Pereira dots it down for the first.
Alivara with the good take. Mayank Dias on the correct side for his left foot.
Seven points to 5 now. St. Thomas's College get the lead for the first time in this game. How important is Mayank Dias' boot going to be in this season for St. Thomas's? Shanak, it's going to be all about territory for them, but those kicks that he puts in are really kicks that win you matches.
Well, he did really well last season as well with his boot. kept St. Thomas's in some games that they might have been out of. But they will require him to be ready and available. Good pressure by Shri Sumangala on Bulat Singalage, but he finds a decent touch nevertheless. So after that initial try from Shri Sumangala, St. Thomas is doing well to fight back, and that's important for them, that they don't lose composure despite conceding early.
Shri Sumangala yet to have a real set phase of play, Shanika. The try that they scored was off counter-attack play. So this is the first time that they really do get to try and launch something. Had a line out before. This time they tap it back. Good work at the line out.
Sashika Bandara manages to control the bouncing ball. But another kick by Malisha Karunatilaka, opting to put St. Thomas's onto the back foot and ask them to, or invite them to kick it out. And that's been about a 15-meter gain for them. So they wouldn't mind that if that's what the tactic is.
A smart rugby from Shri Sumangala College. They're going from set piece to set piece, yes, but they're marching forward from those set pieces. Good kick there from Malisha Karunatilaka.
As long as your kicking is intentional, Abid, I think that's the important thing. There's a lot more kicking in modern rugby. Pires to throw into this line out, which has functioned pretty well so far for Sumangala, despite being evidently the smaller pack. That time they managed to sack it to St. Thomas's. And again, the little grubber goes in, putting the Tomians under pressure, and it's taken beautifully. Induvara is the man who managed to latch onto that loose ball. And now it's anybody's game as Shri Sumangala attack on the 5-meter line. Inches short this time. Pick and goal time in the 12th minute of this game. Here they go, and it's a try. It's Pabasara Nirmal with the score. The number 6 has been good today. He's defended, and he's also got a try now to his name. Won some important contacts, and out of absolutely nowhere they manufactured that try, creating complete chaos by putting the ball behind the first line of defense for St. Thomas's. It's not once, not twice, but about 3 times that they've done that. Watch this kick. Induvara putting it through, and it's a nice kick because it's set up nice and high, and he followed through as well, managed to collect his own kick, and then 3 or 4 phases later, Nirmal goes over. That was really intelligent play from Shri Sumangala.
The conversion has gone through as well. It's 12 points to 7. Fantastic rugby from Shri Sumangala College. Shanak, you were talking about the kicks and if they were intentional or not. This is very intentional from Shri Sumangala College, and it has really unlocked maybe a weakness from St. Thomas's College. Their back three has really been put to question here early on, and they really haven't been answering those questions well.
No, they certainly haven't. The kick receipt and the kick chase from the Tomians have been wanting. But and the good thing for the Shri Sumangala team, Abid, is the fact that they haven't expended a lot of energy in doing this. Collected that time by the hooker. Sashika Bandara passes it back, and despite the pressure, it's a good relieving kick. And Akbar once again takes it, gives it to Bulat Singhalla. It's Dias. Another bouncing ball. Just can't get away. That time the left wing, Mohammad Zabri, on the far side touchline.
Talking about how good the Shri Sumangala College kicks are, Shanaka, the chasers are also really, really good. Chasers are always up there. That kick from Malish Karunatilaka to gain them that line out that followed suit with a try was also followed by a very good chase. This one too was followed by a very good chase. So not kick it out into touch, maybe intentional. They keep it in the field of play.
Another good line out by Shri Sumangala that time. It's not tidy ball, but they're winning it back and doing something with it. This time they choose to carry into contact and have won themselves a penalty. Sashika Bandara will have a free go this time. Samarakun puts the kick in, but he will have the penalty coming. Oh, and it's is that advantage over? No, it's not. And Samarakun will follow through. And referee Nalin Lasanta says advantage is over, so they'll play the line out.
Yeah, good call from the referee. There was a territorial gain there. They won the ball back, but my goodness, these Tomians at the back are really being put under a lot of pressure early on. Just 15 minutes so far in this game.
Well, the die-hard Tomian fans will say they're playing like the All Blacks. And again, the pickup is not good. Udan Bulat Singalage has dropped a couple back-to-back. And we'll want to put that behind him.
I think now it's for the Tomians, it's just to calm things down, isn't it? Shri Sumangala College have seen something and they're exploiting it every time that they are on attack. And for St. Thomas's now, they know that they just need possession to come through and they need to do the little things right. It's just the start of the season. You can't be too harsh on these boys. First time for most of them, or for majority of them in this pressure situation. So it takes some time to get used to it. They need to get used to it fast and they win themselves a penalty off the line, off the scrum.
Well, that's where the big, heavy Tomian pack will come into play. That time on the loose head side, Shri Sumangala just not able to compete with that hit. And Bulat Singalage will be quite relieved to be able to put this one into touch. That's a lovely kick by the younger of the Bulat Singalage brothers. You can watch it here. It's completely collapsing under that hit. The Induwara, the loose head for Shri Sumangala. So this is where St. Thomas's will need to exploit their bulk up front.
I think it's going to be the pace of Shri Sumangala College versus the weight of St. Thomas's. Good line out from Tisha Aluihara.
Nicely taken by Aluihara at the back, and Zaidan Akbar gets his first opportunity to crash ball into the defense. Here's Aluihara again. Nice ball presentation, and it's nice quick ball as well. This time it's Aman Imran who carries. Archer Mendes, nice flat ball across, but that's a beautiful intercept. Can he get the ball away? Yes, they can. Oh, and it's two knock-ons.
Advantage over.
Referee says that advantage is over, and Archer Mendes now needs to find a willing runner. And in the end, it's his skipper who turns up to save the day. Nice quick ball again from Mendes. Here's some space now for Dias, and it's Butterfingers once again from the Tomians. Advantage for the knock-on, and straight through goes Sashika Mendes. Sashika Bandara, rather. Pasindu Sahas carrying it into contact. Bandara. Here's that willingness to take on the opposition. Karuna Tilaka, the good leg drive taking him over the halfway line, but St. Thomas's have managed to turn that over nicely. Archer Mendes now looking for Bulat Singalage in the pocket, and Bulat Singalage has no option but to put it as far as he can, but this ball may run dead, which means that they'll come all the way back. They haven't been watching enough games at this ground, Abid, because this Havelock's ground, especially on that far end, on the Bloomfield end, on the BRC end, is not really forgiving, because any long kick is bound to go into dead on the touchline and come all the way back 60 meters almost for that scrum.
Things not working for the Tomians so far. I think the passes have been really, really harsh as well. Passes that are just give and take passes have been hammered through, spun through. 12 points to 7. Not something that they would have seen coming into Havelock Park at the end of the first 20 minutes.
It's all well and good to give those nice zippy passes when you're playing shadow rugby, isn't it, Abid? But suddenly when you've got a defender in your face and it's not the junior team or not a practice team, then everything is a little bit different. So St. Thomas's will take a while to settle for sure. It's just the first 20 minutes of the season. But they will need a few of those passes to stick because Shri Sumangala have certainly come to play. Bandara off the base. Zipping it across in 3 nice passes, and once again that little grubber put through. Samarakun once again, and Udan Bulatsingalage is in a little bit of trouble here. Needs some support, does really well to get away, does Bulatsingalage. Outstanding strength from the young fly half. Here's Arya Vansa carrying it outside of the 22. Archer Mendes. It's a nice flat ball, but again, nobody really running onto it. Bulatsingalage in the pocket and again under pressure. Keeps this in the field of play. Not sure that was intentional, but passing to Bandar, the try scorer, going back, looking for his relieving kicker. And it's an ugly kick, but it's an effective kick.
1 minute water break.
Going for a 1 minute water break, and this water break will have a lot of messages from both teams. Shri Sumangala College, of course, they'll be told to keep doing what they're doing because it seems to be working. They're turning the Tomian forwards around and they're really tiring them out. You saw them in the last passage of play, not running onto the ball with pace. So the kicks might be taking a toll on them, and the humidity too. But for the Tomians, I think, Shanak, is just calm things down. Just do the little things right. Don't play in your red zone. Get your kicks through. Get the chasers up. That's what Shri Sumangala is doing, and it's working for them.
Here are the 3 tries that we've seen scored in the first quarter of the game. A kick by Archer Mendes, run on to beautifully by Pasundu Bandara, and gives a nice left to right pass as well. And passing to Samarakun with a lovely fend on Mayanka Dias. In fact, passing to Bandara with a lovely fend on Mayanka Dias, scoring the first try of the game. St. Thomas is managing to tighten up that driving maul. And in the end, Ayan Pereira was the man who scored at the back of it. The first try for the Tomian season. And they got into a lead through the boot of Dias, but this was Induvara with a little grubber, saw the space under the sticks and managed to chase up his own kick. And a couple of phases later, Pabasara Nilmal was the one who scored. And that set the cat among the pigeons because it was converted as well. And Shri Sumangala are doing the basics right, aren't they? Abid, you're faced with a big set of forwards. What do? You think about kicking behind them, turning them around, not allowing them to get ahead of steamer. And they've just done that very simply. They've chased those kicks and they've created pressure, and St. Thomas has wilted under it, at least for the first quarter of this game. Back live now, and Zaidan Akbar will get that line-out ball. Mendes, Karunaratne. Bulatsingalage stands deep, and Mayanka Dias now trying to get away, but a good tackle on him that time by Malisha Karunatilaka. St. Thomas is still with the ball, and it's nice quick ball for Mendes. Here's some space now. Ayan Pereira chooses to carry. And now they've got men over. Beautiful run that time by Varnasuriya. Varnasuriya stepping in. One man to beat, but a superb tackle in the end.
Step back.
By Shri Sumangala's last line of defense, Mikhail Karunaratne. Pereira driving forward. Good strong carry by Ayan Pereira. Archer Mendes. Here's Tiasha Alivihara. Still going. Lays it back nicely. Vanigasuriya carries. It's good quick ball. And here's Karunaratne. You can see the line now. Karunaratne still going, and Karunaratne will get St. Thomas's on level, pegging on the scoreboard with the kick to come.
Well, that was very good from the Tomians. That was just classic rugby, nothing too fancy. Giving it to the forwards, cracking open the defense first, breaking the first line of defense. And a good try from Mikhail Karunaratne. He had a bit of work to do there, but the Shri Sumangala College defense was a bit too upright. And when you're faced with a player that is much heavier than you. You have to make those tackles and you have to go low. Conversion though from the Tomians. Not through from Mayanka Dias. 12 all.
Well, that's unusual from someone who's usually as accurate as Dias. Obviously from the left side of the field, the angle is far more acute for the left-footed kicker. But that's more like it, isn't it, from St. Thomas's. Looks like they've got a bit of a dressing down from whoever carried the water in. One S. Surya Bandara, no idea who that might be. And he's probably given his players a bit of a telling off.
His presence is enough, isn't it? This S. Surya Bandara.
Yes. And that's the first penalty actually conceded. Second penalty conceded by Shri Sumangala. Their discipline has been pretty good so far.
Good. Captain, good. No fight. Thanks. Penalty.
Nalin Lasantha stepping in, making sure those little afters didn't carry on for too long. Lovely touch finder by Bulat Singalage. Aluvihara with the carry there, and that looked like it was a pretty high hit as well from Shri Sumangala, and straight over without a release. Clear penalty.
My friend, no.
This is where the test starts for Shri Sumangala College. Now they're on level terms. St. Thomas's seem to be finding their groove here after the water break. Now their defense will be tested.
Wait.
That one was overthrown, and Shri Sumangala have done really well. Sashika Bandara manages to get that pass off to Resandu Sahas.
Stay back.
Here's Bandara. Nice flat line from the number 8, Tarusha Dilshan. Trying to keep it close is Shri Sumangala, but once again a needless penalty given away by the Tomians.
Sashika Bandara is really lifting that ball off that ruck really fast. Not too sure if it's too fast for his forwards to reset as well. This is where the penalty was given away. Sides was the call, coming through the sides. Next ruck. Important decision coming up, and off your screens they've opted for the 3. That's, I think, a very sensible decision from Shri Sumangala College.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that even before they did this, that this was a 3-point opportunity for the taking. And if Pasindu Samarakone has the distance on this kick, I'm sure he does, which is why they've chosen to take it. It will be a good comeback from that try that they just conceded. Samarakone strikes it well, strikes it very well, but unfortunately for him, it drifts off the right-hand side of the post. But once again, it's a sensible decision because St. Thomas's now have to kick the ball back to them. And they've shown that they've got some ability in the counter-attack.
Injury pain, all right? Okay. Excuse me. Right? Okay.
So referee Lasantha managing this situation. Looks like there's been a bit of a shoulder injury to Achila Gamage. That looks pretty unfortunate. Hope it's not anything too serious for Gamage in the first match of the season, but it looks like he might have popped it. Looks a little dejected, to say the least, as he walks off.
One of their better players, Achila Gamage. One of the players that seems to have the height and the weight for Shri Sumangala College, and he walks off.
Time on.
One of the senior men.
Play on. Behind ball, behind.
Now the Tomians will kick this ball back. Akbar has been given the ball because they trust that he's got the boot to put them past the 50.
Well, that's a big injury for Shri Sumangala, Abid, because Achila was pretty good in the line out so far. Shri Sumangala have won quite a few line outs, so that's not just a man lost. It's an important man lost. Shri Sumangala also letting it bounce that time before Bandara puts his fingers on it. And here's a try scorer, Bandara. Here's the other Bandara, Sashika. Crashing through, beautiful work from Shri Sumangala to breach the first line of defense and to free their arms. Here's Bandara, goes back into the pocket, and here's that tactic that has worked so well for them, putting Mayanka Dias under pressure on that left-hand touchline. The chase is good, but so is the counter-attack from Dias. Nice work, bringing his team almost up to the 50-meter line, but this is where St. Thomas's have got to get better. That flat ball off the first phase doesn't have anybody taking responsibility on the end of it. Bulat Singalage. And isolated that time, and the penalty is coming. It was really good by Shri Sumangala. Pounced on it, saw that the Tomian player had no support around him. An excellent technique at the breakdown.
Well, important penalty one there. Malisha Karunatilaka may not get a lot of distance on that touch finder, but that just shifts play. Here's where the penalty was won. It was isolated there. No real chance for a contest from St. Thomas's as well. He didn't really release him as much, but there was no one in front of him. So I think that was a good call from referee Nalin Lasantha.
Yes, you'll have to look at the material impact on the player not rolling away. And that's nicely done at the front despite the absence of Gamage. Hinduvara shows and goes, and oh, that's another ball that's fallen favorably for Shri Sumangala. And that time it's Pasidu Samarakun who runs in, created the first try, and has now scored the third. And Shri Sumangala are showing that they are a force to be reckoned with this season.
Well, they're really, really good when it comes to loose ball, isn't it? If they're not getting the loose ball from St. Thomas's, they're at least creating it for themselves. Just have a look at this. This pass was not the best from Hinduvara. It didn't go to the man, but Pasidu Samarakon really runs onto the ball with pace. When you run onto the ball with pace, it really brings you the opportunities and really foxes the defense, isn't it? The Tomian defense was up. They were defending the line as they would defend when it comes to first phase ball. And Pasidu Samarakon, from where he was, he would have been at the back of the line, would have had some set piece move coming up, but just saw the loose ball, ran onto it, gets an Amana Bank try. Third one for Shri Sumangala.
When that conversion goes awry as well. So Shri Sumangala in just a 5-point lead, which they would have expected to be 7 points. And Samarakon puts his hands on his head. You think that St. Thomas's are going to come back into this game, Abid. It's going to be in the last quarter of the game where the conditioning and maybe the bench strength comes into this. Because Shri Sumangala are putting a lot into this, but at the same time, because they're kicking and not engaging so much in those close quarter fisticuffs, they are also going to save a lot of energy. And as it gets cooler in the day, who knows who will have extra in their tank. Zaidan Akbar has been given the restart duties. Puts that one nice and high, but once again, there's not enough pressure on Lakshan Jayapala, who takes the kickoff.
Come inside.
Another side entry from St. Thomas's, so just giving away penalties where they don't need to. It's the second time, so that's why referee Nalin Lasantha has had a chat with the Tomian captain. Said, look, I want you entering into the breakdown a little bit better.
Good awareness of the law from Ulam Bulat Singalage there, but good touch finder, very good touch finder from Shri Sumangala College. But I think it's going to come down to how clinical St. Thomas's are, isn't it? This Shri Sumangala College team are not going to score those conventional tries. They're going to score those one-off tries where they'll just snap on the smallest opportunity that they're presented with. And it's up to the Tomians not to present that opportunity. And Shri Sumangala College, if they have it, they're going to take it, and they have done it 3 times over.
Oh, they've done well again. Bit of a juggle in the line out, but did well to control that ball. Sasika Bandara trying to control things as forwards. And now they've asked for it. Induvara has asked for the ball and he can see some space. But this time it's taken forward by Tarusha Dilshan. And now they've got a bit of a look. It's not an accurate pass once again, but doesn't matter. That's a nice run onto the ball that time by Resandu Sahas. And good defensive work by St. Thomas's. Once again, the captain leading the way. He scored the try and now he says, I'm sure you all how to defend as well, guys. This is how it's done. Resandu Sahas also getting a little isolated there. And maybe the fatigue towards the end of this first half, just trying to, or coming through for both teams. And Udan Bulatsingalage, just by a whisker, managing to find touch. They'll want to try and close this half off. Great body position by Makal Karunaratne. Nice strong wide base. And with that kind of body position, you're not going to shift him off the ball.
Important few minutes of play coming up, just 3 minutes or so till half time. St. Thomas is still trailing 12-17. It's going to be up to Shri Sumangala College to hold them at bay and maybe get another little 3-pointer or a 5-pointer, but first they need to stop this Tomian attack. Here's a good line out for the Tomians.
Romet Vijay Singh winning it at the back. Makal Karunaratne camped in centre field there. Induvara almost getting his hands on that ball. The clean out just a little late to arrive. That time it's Rehan Varnasuriya who carries towards the 22. It's slow ball for the Tomians, but they've got Romet Vijay Singh who carries strongly. Nice low body position. Here's Vishwa Aryavansa. Zaidan Akbar. Nice chop tackle on him by Shehan Mahajirin. Aman Imran that time. Dragging it into the 22. Oh, and it's been knocked forward by skipper Makal Karunaratne. Looked like they might have got away with this one. And referee has spotted that one forward. Just going forward. I think he would have got a call from referee Aruna Shanta on the touchline, who had a better view of that. Assistant referee. And they come back for the knock forward.
Crucial little error there from the Tomians. Looked like they were on attack there. There you go. That's that good defense once again, isn't it, from Pabasara Nirmal. That boy has been all over the place so far.
Bye. Set. Steady.
This is where the Tomians need to put a bit of pressure on the scrum, which they do, but nicely exited nevertheless from Shri Sumangala. Udan Bulatsingalage is back. Mayank Kadai is stepping off his left foot. Nice short pass to Bulatsingalage. Here's a bit of space, and that looked like that might be a little high. And Sasika Bandara will have a talking to by the referee. Looked like it was Tehan Dammage who was always going down, so it's just a penalty.
Here's a replay once again. Dammage there. Sasika Bandara really could have done a bit better there to go down and play safety is something that's important for the defender as well. He's putting himself in a bad position and the attacker.
Well, I think the first contact, Abid, if we can see that again, the first contact was on the chest and it slipped up. So I think the referees have got this spot on. Let's watch it again here. Bandara does drop his body, but not enough, and hits him on the chest and then slides up. But you could see that by the time he hit him, Dammage was also on his knees. So I think a penalty is a good outcome for that entire episode. Ian Pereira will want to get onto the end of this ball once again. T.S. Aluvihara does well at the back. Looks like he's gotten a little heavier than last season, T.S. Aluvihara, which is why he's moved from flanker to lock forward. And here's Ian Pereira, has to break away that time, and the Sumangalians were waiting for him. Archer Mendes to Manika Surya. St. Thomas's ball carriers coming back to the open side as Romit Vijay Singha lays that back nicely. Here's Mikhail Karnaratne. And once again a knock on. The Tomian skipper carries the ball into contact quite upright, and this is the danger of doing that. The defense does have an opportunity to get their hands on the ball.
I think they're defending Mikhail Karnaratne very well. They're hitting him low and they're hitting him a bit high as well, where the ball is forcing 2 knock-ons before going into half-time. Those 2 knock-ons will really give Shri Sumangala College a lot of confidence going into Lemons.
Certainly, because it's given them the confidence that they can hold this big Tomian pack. And 17 points to 12, it's no fluke that they're in front of it. Are we going to face the first big upset of the season? Is Summa Rugby making the first statement of 2026? 17 points to 12. That's what it is here in this pre-quarter final at Havelock Park. And if you're just tuning in, yes, that's not a mistake you're seeing. Shri Sumangala has been good value for their 17 points. St. Thomas's just a 12. And they'll want to come back and make that second half one to play for. We'll be back after the commercial break.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Introducing the 2025 TVS Apache RTR 204V.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න. මවනා ඔබටයි. ඔයාල කැපිලා පෙන්න ඔෆිස් එකට ගෝ.
Black Night Go Pocket Perfume Youth එකට go එකක්.
Rugby,
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi, Fun Tamai.
Abans fridge kiyanne. Abans fridge kiyanne. Bawlata harima fridge ekak. Abans family එකට හරියන අපේ රටේ fridge එක.
For passion, a competitive spirit is for the night owls, the hard workers. It's for those who do and want to keep doing. Right, real energy.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
එයාව හැල්ල බලන්න ක්ලාස් එකට go.
Black Night Go Pocket Perfume Youth එකට go එකක්.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි. බෑග්වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා.
ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් Swiss Tech නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. Swiss Tech ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
මාස 24ක් දක්වා ගෙවීමේ පහසුකම් සමගින් මාසික වාරිකයේ රුපියල් 4999යි. අබාන්ස් ජාතියේ පරිගණක සැපයුම්කරු.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence. Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
දවසම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් වෙන්න. O3 Spirit and Freedom Perfumed Body Spray.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Let's KFC. Making moments special. Most value for money from KFC.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
එතකොට මහත්තයාරුනේ ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් ග්‍රවුට් වෝටර්ප්‍රූෆින් ස්කිම් කොට් නේ.
ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එකක් නැද්ද මුදලාලි අතන කඩේ 140ක් දෙන්නම් කිව්වා.
බෑග්වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා.
We start with highlights of this very interesting first half. We've seen 29 points scored by the two teams, 17 of them from Shri Sumangala. Despite this start that didn't go according to plan, St. Thomas is unable to really extract any value from that centre field scrum. And from this base kick, it was the two Pasindus who combined. It was Bandara who gave it to Samarakon. Samarakon who gave it to Bandara rather, and Pasindu Bandara scored the first counter-attacking try. St. Thomas's with a good bit of tight work to drive this ball over from about 10 meters out. Ian Pereira getting the first score for the Tomians. Mayank Kadais with the conversion. And then another lovely little chip through from Abiru Induvara. Ball sitting up right in front dangerously. Induvara running onto his own kick, and in the end it was Pabasara Nirmal who got the try right under the sticks. Converted also by passing to Samarakon and Mikhail Karunaratne, the big Tomian number 8 and skipper, using all his strength to power over for the Tomian second try. And then a dropped ball coming to the assistance of the Sumangala team. Smoking through for that try off the loose ball was Pasindu Samarakon once again.
What that highlight reel didn't show you was the defensive effort from Shri Sumangala in the last 5 minutes, denying St. Thomas's off a try. An important second half for the Tomians to kickstart their season, and an even more important one for Shri Sumangala.
Nirmal, the try scorer, takes the kickoff. And you can see that the Tomians, through Rehan Varnasuriya, really want to get stuck in this second half.
Out ball.
Sashika Bandara gives it to Abiru Induvara. Puts a lovely touch finder in from deep in his own 22. But it looks like it was carried back, and the distance on that kick will be to no avail. So referee Arunashanta right on the money there, saying it was carried back.
Interesting replay that one, but that was a big kick from Abiru Induvara.
Let's try and see where it was taken back from. Just outside the 22, I would think. Pabasara Nirmal was the one who carried that ball out, but we'll look at it later as we watch Ian Pereira throw in. Oh, it's a double pump from Ian Pereira, so miscommunication between the jumper and the hooker, resulting in a free kick for...
Free kick. 10 back, please.
Shri Sumangala. And under the new rules, of course, you can't opt for a scrum. But they won't mind, as this time they get an opportunity to get that ball almost exactly where he kicked it out previously. So no damage done from that little mistake by Shri Sumangala carrying the ball back into their 22.
But the kicks from Shri Sumangala College have been on another level. Here's a double pump from Ian Pereira. Just a bit of miscommunication there. Lifters, jumpers, the hooker not communicating well enough. But for Shri Sumangala, Shanaka, in this half, it's all going to be about territory. Where they play this game is going to win this game for them. They have to play it on this side of the pitch. They have the players that can take them to this side of the pitch. For the Tomians, it's just not allow Shri Sumangala any kind of opportunity. They're going to take them for sure. Here's another line out.
Zaidan Akbar with the inside ball to Romit Vijayasinghe, who's been strong on the carry. Archer Mendis to Mikhail Karunaratne. They're waiting for him, and they go low and high on him. That time it was a good tackle by Ashen Karunatilaka to take Mikhail Karunaratne nice and low. Nice hands from St. Thomas's on the near side touchline. Here's Tiasha Aluvihara. Nice run from the big second rower. Hands off is the call. But it was not released quickly enough from Tarusha Dilshan. And referee Nalin Lasanta making sure that he communicates, gives the players an opportunity to release the ball, and if they don't, he's going to blow the penalty.
Line out coming up for the Tomians. But the way Shri Sumangala College have defended this Tomian pack, I think is pretty impressive, isn't it? We spoke about just before halftime how they defended Mikael Karunaratne, but in that phase of play, it's not just Mikael Karunaratne that they're going low and high on. It's all the forwards that are bulkier in front of them. They're just going low and high and they're cutting them short. Very, very good work, but need to get those little things right. Penalties like that won't do any good for their cause.
Yes, it's an organized defensive effort. You can see that. They've expected this big Tomian pack, and that's a steal at the line-out time as well. Superb work. But the ball coming off the boot. And now they're living dangerously, passing it across the face of the post. And a little bit of space opening up now. And that's a run coming from Shri Sumangala. Mayanka Das has to make the tackle, and he does. Wonderful run that time by the left wing, Akila Sirivardhana. Shri Sumangala getting themselves out of real trouble there with a combination of bravery and luck. Carry from Resandu Sahas rather. Abiru Induvara, that time he puts it out on the full once again, so they'll come all the way back for it. The second time he's made that mistake, Abiru. And can St. Thomas's make them pay this time? They let them off the hook for the last mistake. Will they be able to do it this time?
The two lineouts on the trot not working for the Tomians. Something is not working. There's some communication line is missing. First time it was a double pump. And then the next time it was a very well read lineout from Shri Sumangala College.
Mama team beefing nige kata kare wata line out dala no meeting. Okay, straight line. Yeah, right. Next time I know ilang option eකට. Right? Ilang tiya ganna straight line. Straight line. Okay, good. Call kade. Boy, straight line. Wait.
The referee saying that he wants a straight line in the line out. If there are any receivers, they can be out, but he doesn't want the people moving about too much. Romit Vijay Singh doing well to take that overthrown ball to the Tomian line out, deserting them in the second half. And once again, straight over the top of that ball was Shehan Mahajirin. He's come on from the bench and made a difference.
Really slow off that line out, the Tomian forwards. There you go, they're still jogging back from the line out. But the players who were there maybe could have done a bit better to get there faster. But very, very good work. Saw the man was isolated, went for it. But the kick doesn't go out into touch, but living dangerously here, the Tomians.
Zaidan Akbar did well to get that ball away, and it's not a good pass that time. Das not communicating well. And the counter-attack attempts by St. Thomas's have been cut down pretty early by Shri Sumangala, whose chase has been excellent today. They've really put pressure on the Tomian receivers, not the first man, but they've been attacking the second and third man in that backfield and really putting the Tomians into difficult decision-making positions.
Maybe the kick could have gone out there from Mayanka Das. Defense was up in his face, but he had time. He's a left kicker. Players were on his right foot, not the left.
Coach! Bye! Set!
Nice attacking scrum for Shri Sumangala. Tomians putting the shove on, but Shashika Bandara doing well at the base. Beautifully done by Karuna Tilaka that time. Here's Shashika Bandara mazing through that defense. Right in front of the post, Shri Sumangala with about 10 meters to go. The Tomian defense being tested here.
Release! Tackle! Step back, blue. Blue.
Here's the pick and go from Shri Sumangala. Shashika Bandara now, lovely angle. Coming through was the Sumangala back line. Bandara over the line and he scores. Shashika Bandara with the Amana Bank try. Outstanding work. The line out conceded. Once again, it was the kick that got them into the right part of the field. It was the chase that applied the pressure. St. Thomas was crumbling under the pressure, and the scrum, even though they managed to get a drive on. This was the angle from Malisha Karunatilaka that created the space, and Sashika Bandara just dancing through. Outstanding work from Shri Sumangala for that Amana Bank try.
Well, that try was more Malisha Karunatilaka, isn't it? That first break in that number 13 jumper from Karunatilaka. Important conversion coming up. 2 conversions missed from Pasindu Samarakon.
Yes.
This time, the conversion is a gold conversion. 24-12, 12 points in it. But the Tomians, Shanaka, going back to where that try was conceded, it's the defense in between from the line out to the line that is formed that gave away that try. The player right at the back of that line out didn't dislodge himself fast enough and didn't join the defensive line, which opened a huge gap in the defense of the Tomians. Good vision from Malisha Karunatilaka to spot that, to make that initial break. But from there on as well, Shri Sumangala College were very patient with how they went about it.
Yes, they had plenty to do after that initial break, and they did all of it really well.
Play on.
So a few changes being made already for the Tomians.
Behind ball.
Indunath Bandara is the man to go off. We'll tell you who's replaced him in a moment. But the Tomians now have a lot of work to do. More than 2 scores ahead. Shri Sumangala, that ball has gone backwards. No, but the referee says Resandu Sahas lost control. So it will be another opportunity for the Tomians inside the 22.
This is a very good place for them to have a scrum after being put on the back foot. Maybe I thought Resandu Sahas was a bit hard done there. Dropped it sideways, ball went backwards. It has opened the door for the Tomians now. They've got options on either side. They've got Magal Karunaratne that can break. New scrum half in for the Tomians. So Rico Pieratne.
Rico Pieratne making his debut at scrum half, and it's an early substitution as well. Father and uncle, pretty well known Tomians from their era. Uncle Ravi was my water polo goalie. Standing water polo goalkeeper and diver. Swimming captain as well.
Tight bind.
His father Roy.
Coach! Bye!
Stories about him are probably a little less sellable on TV. At Rico. Under pressure immediately. Look at the dust going up on this Havelock Park grounds. Off his feet is Tia Shaluvihara, and that's why referee Nalin Lasanta blows for that sealing off penalty. I have to say, the breakdown discipline has been wanting from the Tomians.
Didn't find touch the last time, Samarakon. This time finds touch, good one at that. Here's a replay of that once again. Just watched Tisha Alvihara in the 5 jumper. Just goes down with the ball carrier. You can't do that. You can't. You're not allowing for a contest that is fair. Not allowing Shashika Bandar to get to that ball. And I think referee Nalin Lasanta has refereed the breakdown very, very well.
Yes, he's been consistent, and that's all that players can expect, that ball bouncing, and unfortunately touching Sashika Bandara as it bounced forward, and the player in the line out was in front of him. I think he's a little unlucky to get a penalty against him. Might have been more of an accidental offside. So it came off Bandara's hand right into the hands of Pabasara Nirmal there.
Good touch kick, very good kick to touch from the Tomians. Bulat Singalage puts it through. Now here's the chance for the Tomians that has come. It has taken 12 minutes in this half. It has been all Shri Sumangala College. They've just scored the 1 try. But a try that has put a lot of daylight between the 2 teams. And now St. Thomas's need to slowly try and bridge that gap 12 points is not a lot of points, but it's a 70-minute game and they need to start somewhere. Here's a good chance for them to start it.
Certainly they've got to chip away at this 12-point lead in multiples of 3 or 5. Can't think of it as a 12-point mountain to climb. They've just got to keep knocking away and hope that in the final quarter of the game their conditioning will do them some service. Zaidan Akbar once more very upright into the contact. Piyaratna with his first bit of service from the base. Straight through goes Mikael Karunaratne. Good ball from Piyaratna again to Tiesha Aluvihara. Aluvihara now laying it back. Varnasurya. It's a good ball again. You can see why Piyaratna has been brought on to put some pace onto the game. And he's done that in this first few phases inside the 22. Here's Vishwa Aryavansa. Ayan Pereira spinning in the tackle. It's good defense. They're committing themselves. Shri Sumangala stepping in nicely was Varnasurya to set up the phase.
Advantage.
Shri Sumangala offside. T.S. Aluvihara gets close.
Offside.
Offside is the call, and think that it might be a tap and go. Yes, it will be. Mikael Karunaratne, they need to think of the conversion as well, so they need to make sure they get as close to the post as possible. But in the end, it's Aluvihara who has done plenty of work in the tight. Gave away the last penalty, and he'll be relieved to make sure he gets the 5 points to his name. And the Tomians now back within a score.
An important score there for St. Thomas's College. They get the Amana Bank try through Tisha Aluvihara. This is more like it from St. Thomas's. That was good work. Good work from the base as well. Piyaratna coming on and just bringing a little bit more life into the game for the Tomians. Mikael Karunaratne taking the quick tap. Good decision from the skipper, and also Piyaratna to spot the space on the outside. Yes, scoring the try closer towards the upright would have been better, but scoring the try is even more important than the two. So they've got the 5. Now it's up to Dice to get the extras.
It's on the correct side of the pitch for the left-footed kicker, so wouldn't be too bad where the try was scored. But he got the call, Piyaratna, and did well to hear the call from Aluvihara as well. Scrum halves can be a bit tunnel-visioned in that particular position, and he did well to change the direction of the attack. And Aluvihara's body position was good enough, and that time it's a good kick. So a goal would win it for St. Thomas's, but there's still plenty of rugby to be played. 21 minutes left, 20 and a bit in fact. 19 points to 24. This has been a real thriller of a game so far. What do we have in store in the final 20 minutes?
Well, coming into Havelock Park, Shri Sumangala College were the firm underdogs, you'd have to say, but they've really played their hearts out in the 50 minutes that have been played so far. But now, Shanak, it's going to come down to conditioning, isn't it? It's going to come down to conditioning, bench strength, how the coaches use their bench. All of that is going to come into play. Do Shri Sumangala have the superior bench? Do they have the conditioning?
This man has done very well. I think Rehan Varnasurya has been full of running. They will need to improve their defensive reads, of course, in the midfield, but it's the first time they're playing together. This midfield of Zaidan Akbar and Rehan Varnasurya. Got the big prop forward on the field.
Blue, move it. Blue, move it.
Udan Bulat Singalage. It's been dropped by Samarakun. And that's been nicely done by St. Thomas's to turn the ball over. Piyaratna looking for a runner. Gives it to his captain. Bumps off one. But staying in the fight is Ashen Karunatilak, who brings down the Tomian skipper. Here's Vishwa Aryavansa. Tomians now with their tails up. The crowd finally finding their voice. Looks like it might be Shehran Nawaz.
No advantage over. Tackle not roll away. You're good.
They're coming back for the penalty.
Tackle, not roll away.
Not rolling away. Now St. Thomas's need to be smart here. 19-24. They seem to have found a rhythm, isn't it, in the last phase of play that they scored the try. They seem to have found a rhythm. The boys in blue, black and blue. Now that's a good kick to touch, and now you can see the crowd finding their voice, Shanaka, and also Shri Sumangala College have really been silenced for the last 5 to 10 minutes or so. They had a good phase from the 35th minute to the 45th minute. But from there on it has been St. Thomas's. There's a line out coming up for them. Need to get it right this time, Eyan Pereira.
Pirat are doing well. They're reaching in and dragging the player out, making sure that the referee didn't miss that he was lying on the wrong side of the ball. Here's Varna Surya. The ball to him is not a great one, and the tackle though from Akila Sirivardhana is a good one, but St. Thomas is getting smashed back by Induvara. And the follow-up is again superb from Induvara. They've gone back 60 meters and now they need a scrum half. Piratna gets there in the end. And from attacking inside their 22, they suddenly find themselves attacking from their 40-meter line. The defensive work has been really good. It's not a great kick, to say the least. But the offside penalty has been a while coming.
Number 13. Number 13, offside. Cramp. Okay, sir.
There's 5 points in it. Shri Sumangala College have been found offside. Kick goes into touch from St. Thomas's and they get themselves a line out. Here's where Shri Sumangala need to be careful, Shanaka. They need to be careful. They can't give away penalties. They're leading this game, yes, but now they need to try and maybe get threes coming in, get themselves on the right parts of the field. Induvara did well there.
This is where we talked about the conditioning. And St. Thomas's have got a few fresh legs on as in the forwards as well as the halves. Vishwa Aryavansa making sure that Eyan Pereira gets the right message. And it's nicely won. Mikael Karunaratne doing well to hold on to that ball. The basketball hands coming to good use there. Lovely little step that time from the number 23.
No. Hands off.
Hands off is the call from referee Nalin Lasanta and Udan Bulat Singalage. Finds Mikael once again, who drags it into the 22. The ball is available. And that's another big hit from Shri Sumangala. But once again, they're giving away penalties. And I would think that there's a 3 points for the taking here. They can't afford to muck around St. Thomas's. And because Shri Sumangala is giving away penalties, they've got to take the 3.
That talking was necessary there. Not rolling away penalties, offside penalties. And now for the Tomians, it's knockout footy. And they might just deny the 3 here. If they do get the 5, they might make me look like a fool for saying it, but the 3 would have been the best option. The kick is not a good one from Bulat Singalage. There's a line out coming up. They've been playing pretty well, St. Thomas's, so the try could be on the cards. But when the 3 is on offer, you take the 3.
Yes, I would have definitely taken the 3. 24 points to 22 it would have been. Right in front of the posts. And then a penalty wins it for you. But now they've gone for broke. They've got to make sure they get the job done. Driving forward against the tired legs of this Shri Sumangala forward pack. They've done well to hold on, and here's Ayan Pereira almost to the line. Lays it back. Thought if he reached out, he could have scored there, Ayan.
Stay back, stay back.
Piratna looks for his keeper. Bouncing away from one tackle. Inches short of the line. Here's the big man, and he gets over. And that's exactly what you want at close quarters from your big players. Shaheen Megama is the man who got over. And that's the places. Sorry, it's Panduka Jayasena who went over. And there's no greater distance from which he could score.
That's a good try from St. Thomas's. Yes, they denied the 3, but they've got the 5. That's what I was saying. They're playing with some good momentum. And they've denied the 3 and got the 5 with a chance to make it a 7. 24 all. This game has really kept us on the edge of our seats. The Tomians get the lead 26-24. It's taken some time for them to get to the lead, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time they're in the lead, isn't it?
Yes, it's the first time they've led in this game. No, in fact, they did lead early on at 7 points to 5 and then conceded to 12-7. The first try was converted, so they led very briefly 7-5, and now it's 26-24. Shri Sumangala, do they have a late flourish left in them? Do they have enough legs on the bench to come on and do what the Tomian reserves have done? It's been good use of the bench from referee coach Tristan Healy. Oh, they're letting it bounce, living dangerously. And Bulat Singhalage will put this one into touch to just settle things down. Attacking opportunity. Despite the loss of Gamage, the Sumangala line-out has functioned really well.
Hey, my friend.
The momentum has swung in this game. In this second half, it swung multiple times to both sides. Shri Sumangala now get the line out right. Here's Shashika Bandaru, their playmaker.
Bandara did well on the short side there, but the Tomian defense has stifled this play. You can see that tiredness has now really hit in, but a good carry nevertheless from Tarusha Dilshan. Oh, that's looked like it might have been knocked on the floor, but too many arms and legs for referee to be sure, and that's a good block by Rehan Varnasuriya, who has easily been the best of the Tomian backs today. And they've driven them back. Induvara to Sahas. Sahas with a good carry. The big prop has played nearly an hour now.
On feet. Yellow on feet. Roll away, roll away, roll away. Pass.
Panduka Jayasena, after the ruck was formed, getting his hands in there, and this is where St. Thomas's can't afford to give away field position. They can't afford to give away penalties in the center of the pitch for Induvara, who's got a long boot on him to put Shri Sumangala in attacking positions.
Substitutions have come on for the Tomians, which has really injected a bit of pace, isn't it? I thought in the first half, Shri Sumangala College did well to turn the Tomian forwards back, and it took some time for them to settle down. The bench has come on and they've made quite the impact. They've scored the 2 tries, but they've scored the 2 tries against the Shri Sumangala College team that is tiring out, isn't it? The Shri Sumangala College team that is trailing by 2 points. Can't scoop the ball back like that. There was a little gesture from referee Nalin Lasanta that you can't scoop the ball back.
You can see that there, Panduka Jayasena, he lost the first attempt at the ball, and then once a player bound on him, he still had a second go, and that's why that penalty was given. It's very clear that there was a player bound on him.
Substitutions galore. It's like there's an injury to one of the Tomian players, or one of the Shri Sumangala College players rather.
Good captain. Okay.
It's like it might be a severe case of cramp. Shri Sumangala lost Achila Gamage early on in the piece, but nice line out there once again. And Sashika Bandara, it's not been tidy for him. He's done well up to now. But even though the line out has been good for Sumangala, they haven't been able to give some good off-the-top ball to Sashika Bandara. He's had to deal with the ball bouncing everywhere. He's dealt with it so well, but now with his leg starring, the lateral movement isn't as good.
But the throw from the line out could have been a bit better from the jumper to the scrum half. It was in one place, ball went to another. St. Thomas's can't play in this part of the field now, Shanaka. They need to get onto the other side.
They certainly do, because of one misjudged penalty. It will be curtains. Karunaratne goes off the back. Bandara brings him down eventually. Piyaratne, Tui Aluvihara, the two chief ball carriers in this Tomian pack. And there was a bit of players on the floor, so Nalin Lasantha will think about going to his pocket if this not rolling away penalty continues to be conceded. Aluvihara took a bit of heavy contact in that last breakdown. It's been full of energy. And the player on the floor just not allowing the ball to come free.
Real hot day here in Colombo.
Time off.
Didn't mind an ice pack for myself too. Sun has gone down, but still it's really humid here. Boys will be feeling it much more than we are. We spoke at halftime as well, Shanak. It's going to come down to the grit of Shri Sumangala, isn't it? How well conditioned they are and how much they want it. And we also spoke about how the Tomians might just get over the line. But if they are to get over the line, it's going to be a very, very tough squeeze. And right now, it's just 2 points, but they are somewhat there, the Tomians.
Well, the momentum has swung to them, you have to say. As Bulat Singalage finds about 20 meters for his team.
Captain, I will in on.
Looks like it's Karavita who's on the pitch in jersey number 22. That's nicely taken at the front by St. Thomas's, and here's Karavita now looking for a willing runner. That's not a good pass, as Mayank Adayas.
Stay back.
Not Mayank Adayas, I'll tell you who that was in a moment. Pass was behind by Bakayal Karunaratne. It's Roja Karavita who's on the near side touchline. Panduka Jayasena, the try scorer. Can't get past the first line of defense. Piyaratne now. Nice offload. Another nice offload from St. Thomas's, but this time it's Dammage who gets bundled close to the touchline. Does really well to stay in the field of play. Bulat Singalage. Oh, and that's a big hit. And because he was upright, it might be more than just a penalty.
Yes. No. Medic ground first right? Right, okay.
Well, the player was low, which is why Mudita Piri stays on the pitch.
Well, when does he lose his patience is going to be the question here. He's given away maybe around 8 penalties on the trot against Shri Sumangala College. And the penalties that Shri Sumangala College have given away have really invited the Tomians back into this game. Here's the high shot. He was dipping, yes. Interesting one that.
Yes, I think it was Akila Sirivardhan who's been excellent in defense today, but that was a mistake, and I think he's quite lucky to stay on the pitch. Here's Karavita. And here's Mikael Karunaratne.
Stay back.
Piyaratne waits, and Aryavanshi eventually arrives as a one-out target.
Release.
Good tackle from
Hands off, hands off.
Shri Sumangala once again. Bulat Singalage, Rehan Varnasurya. Here's Mikael Karunaratne. It's been a little one-dimensional from the Tomians, you have to say. Jayasena trying to let go of the ball, but again from Pabasara Nirmal, it has been a superb defensive effort. Taken quickly. Did they need to do that?
Hands off, hands off.
Sashika Bandara. Karavita. It's a base kick, and now the chase is on from Bulat Singalage. Bulat Singalage, it's a neat little step. Still going, but needs to find some support now. Makes it into the 22. That's a lovely run from Bulat Singalage. Fox the chaser. And now St. Thomas's find themselves on the attack once again. Nice little short ball. But again, the defense is good from Shri Sumangala. It's been a spirited defensive effort. They still find themselves in the game with just 4.5 minutes to go. Piyaratne to Aryavanshi. Smashed back in the tackle. That was superb work. Here's Jayasena. Karunaratne gives the ball to Varnasurya. Varnasurya looking. In the end, it's Dias who has to step in off his left foot as well to keep the ball available. They've got a short side, but opt to go back to the open. Karunaratne.
Play on, play on. Release, release, release.
Varnasurya, Aluvihara. Again, St. Thomas's carrying the ball upright into contact. This is something that Coach Healy will have to work on. Jayasena. And the ball is ripped away from him. Samarakon looking to counter-attack. Ball is available for Bandara, who smashes it. St. Thomas's had gotten back though. Nice little step once again from Karavita. That's Sudan Bulat Singalage. Bulat Singalage will scamper into the corner for the winning try. And St. Thomas's conceding the first try from a wayward kick. But the counter-attack coming back in the dying minutes of the game to give them what will surely be the winner to break the backs and the hearts of the Shri Sumangala defense.
Well, that kick from Shashika Bandara could have maybe gone a bit further. But the reason why the kicks for Shri Sumangala have worked in the first half and not in the second Shanaka is because the chasers haven't been up. The conditioning on Shri Sumangala and the boys haven't been a good enough match to the conditioning of the Tomians. And Udan Bulat Singalage goes over for an Amana Bank try that should win them the game 31-24. Mayanka Dias with a conversion. Kick doesn't go through. So there's a little bit of time left on the clock of Nalin Lasantha. There is a chance of maybe a draw from Shri Sumangala College, but they need to take it quick and they need to play it deep.
Well, well, well. Is there another twist in the tail? 31 points to 24. 7 points in it. 1 minute left, or 2 minutes left. 1.5 perhaps when they take this kickoff. A 7-pointer will send it to extra time, so St. Thomas's can't lose from here. Not in real time anyway. Not in ordinary time. The Swiss Tech player of the match, this man, Samarakon, will be right up there if he manages to get his team over the line. But from the Tomians at the moment, Rehan Vandasuri and T.S. Jalivihara are my leading candidates. Abid, what about your standout performers?
Thought Karunaratne played pretty well too. Bench impact was good as well. This is very, very good from Shri Sumangala College. Exactly what they needed. They needed a kick that was contestable, or they needed a kick that was something that would win them the ball back. And they've kicked it out just on that little channel there on the 5 meter. And they've got the chase up, and the chase has come on a good angle to win them the line out back. Here's a chance. Just 7 points in it. 1.5 minutes remaining.
Is there one chink in the armor? They've won the line out, those St. Thomas's. Done the important defensive work. Piyaratna needs to make sure his pass is a forgiving one. Mikael Karunaratne will look up to set up an angle for Udan Bulat Singalage. Here's the new man, Vishwa Akash. And Bulat Singalage that time in the pocket and makes no mistake. Finding touch, and that's the game. 31 points to 24. 55 points scored in what was an outstanding performance. And T.S. Jalivihara for me for the outstanding try that he scored, plus the amount of carrying and line-out work he's done in a forwards dominant performance by St. Thomas's, will be our Swiss Tech player of the match in this game. But take nothing away from Shri Sumangala. They brought it to Colombo and they brought it hard to the Tomians. Led at half-time by 17 points to 12. Scored the first try of the game. Just couldn't manage to score the last one.
For the heart from Shri Sumangala College. Heart-stopping stuff to start this Dialog Schools knockouts. The Tomians were really asked a lot of questions, Shanaka, in the first half. There'll be a lot of questions that this man on your screen will have to answer as well. The head coach, Tristan Healy. But the boys from St. Thomas's, I thought, played very, very well in that second half. They managed the game very well. The maturity was on point. 31 points to 24. A try from Udan Bulat Singalage in the die numbers wins St. Thomas's this game. It was 26-24 and it ended with a Amana Bank try that made it 31-24.
It was a really entertaining game, wasn't it, today? 55 points scored in 70 minutes. Superb stuff from both schools. Shri Sumangala really came to play. And they can hold their heads up high as they travel back to Kandy. Karuna Tilaka with an outstanding angle there for Sachika Bandara to score the first try of the half. He had a good game until his legs gave out. And a good conversion as well from Samarakon. And then the penalties started coming for the Tomians. It was just a lack of gas in the tank. Jalivihara scoring his try. Changed the angle. Piyaratne had just come on and changed the pace of the game. And Mayank Kadayas missed one, but that was an important conversion to get his team out close. And Mikael Karunaratne got close, and in the end it was the hulking Jayasena that was not going to be stopped from half a meter out. Kayaset obliging with the conversion. And this was the kick that ultimately created the space. It was the drop ball and a little shimmy for Udan Bulat Singalage to straighten and score. And the cover defense nowhere for the Sumangalians, who just had too much lactic acid in their legs at that point.
We told you it was going to come down to the last quarter, and it sure did come down to the last quarter. The Tomians winning that last quarter and winning this pre-quarter final fixture. 31 points to 24. 5 tries from the Tomians against the 4 tries from the boys from Shri Sumangala College. 3 conversions, 2 penalties, a couple of conversions that were turned down by the Tomians, but they had other ideas. They wanted the tries to flow in. Swiss Tech perfect player of the match for today. T.S. Jalivihara, who was omnipresent in defense and attack. His work rate was on another level today, and it had to be on another level if they were going to take down this Shri Sumangala College team.
Yes, a wonderful effort from the losers as well, but St. Thomas is scraping through and they will face the winner of Royal versus St. Anthony's coming up a little later on the Papare. Make sure you join that broadcast as well. But from now, for Havelock, from Havelock Park, from Abid Jamil, myself and the rest of our production team, it's goodbye for now.
Stand by for opener.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
3, 2, 1, roll.
This is Sri Lankaවේ අංකික ක්‍රීඩා නාලිකාව ThePapare සමග.
Welcome back to ThePapare.
Welcome to the live broadcast on ThePapare.
Good luck, guys. Good luck, everyone.
ThePapare, Sri Lanka's #1 television sports channel.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
ගෙවන් යන්න ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න ලොකු පොඩි හැම ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න හොඳම ෆෝන් එකක් ගන්න ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න
සැරටම එන්ජොයි කරන්න පාටි එකට go
Night Go
passion, a competitive spirit is for the night owls, the hard workers. It's for those who do and want to keep doing. Right, real energy.
Introducing the 2025 TVS Apache RTR 204V.
Kitchen එක අබාන්ස් කරන්නේ දැන් wife උත් happy එකේ ඉන්නේ
wife happy කරන්න kitchen එක අබාන්ස් කරන්න
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
අබාන්ස් ෆ්‍රිජ් කියන්නේ අබාන්ස් ෆ්‍රිජ් කියන්නේ පවුලට හරිම ෆ්‍රිජ් එකක් අබාන්ස් ෆැමිලි එකට හරියන අපේ රටේ ෆ්‍රිජ් එක
බෑග් වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා. ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් ස්විස් ටෙක් නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. ස්විස් ටෙක් ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
එතකොට මහත්තයාට උනේ ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් ග්‍රවුට් වෝටර්ප්‍රූෆින් ස්කිම් කොට් නේ.
ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එකක් නැද්ද මුදලාලි අතන කඩේ 140ක් දෙන්නම් කිව්වා.
බෑග් වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා. ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් ස්විස් ටෙක් නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. ස්විස් ටෙක් ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
දවසම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් වෙන්න. O3 Spirit and Freedom perfumed body spray.
ගෙවන් යන්න ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න ලොකු පොඩි හැම ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න හොඳම ෆෝන් එකක් ගන්න ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Perfectly. Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Let's KFC. Making moments special. Most value for money from KFC.
kitchen එක අබාන්ස් කරන්නේ දැන් wife උත් happy එකේ ඉන්නේ
wife happy කරන්න kitchen එක අබාන්ස් කරන්න
දවසම refresh වෙන්න train එකට go
Night Go pocket perfume youth එකට go එකක්
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
අබාන්ස් ෆ්‍රිජ් කියන්නේ අබාන්ස් ෆ්‍රිජ් කියන්නේ පවුලට හරිම ෆ්‍රිජ් එකක් අබාන්ස් ෆැමිලි එකට හරියන අපේ රටේ ෆ්‍රිජ් එක
එතකොට මහත්තයාට උනේ ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් ග්‍රවුට් වෝටර්ප්‍රූෆින් ස්කිම් කොට් නේ.
ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එකක් නැද්ද මුදලාලි අතන කඩේ 140ක් දෙන්නම් කිව්වා.
බෑග් වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා. ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් ස්විස් ටෙක් නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. ස්විස් ටෙක් ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamare.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Perfectly. Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
අබාන්ස් ෆ්‍රිජ් කියන්නේ අබාන්ස් ෆ්‍රිජ් කියන්නේ පවුලට හරිම ෆ්‍රිජ් එකක් අබාන්ස් ෆැමිලි එකට හරියන අපේ රටේ ෆ්‍රිජ් එක.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
මාස 24ක් දක්වා ගෙවීමේ පහසුකම් සමගින් මාසික වාරිකයේ රුපියල් 4999යි. අබාන්ස් ජාතියේ පරිගණක සැපයුම්කරු.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence. Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.